west side of New York up there.
Sure.
Let's go to damn near Canada with the Buffalo Bills, a team that had a playoff win last year. Josh Allen has made a great jump. A guy that's supposed to be on our show in about 39 minutes or so got into a little bit of a scrap.
Whoa.
A rare OTA fight broke out. Not that rare, actually, Jay. Now, maybe in the modern world, I've seen plenty of OTA fights because actually no pads. Who's going a hundo? Who's not going a hundo? Who's paying back? Who's not paying back? Offensive line, defensive line. There's going to be scraps. I've seen that before. Maybe not in Buffalo, though. Maybe it's a new era in the NFL. A rare OTA fight. A.J. Epineza intercepted Josh Allen at the line of scrimmage and returned the ball for a touchdown. Jon Feliciano, who's supposed to be on our show in 27 minutes, chased him down in the two exchange words before AJ fired the ball at Feliciano, who then tossed a punch and a melee ensued.
Whoa.
Once again, did not read the entire thing. Offensive line, or defensive line. Would have never guessed that they're fighting. That is just kind of how it goes in this whole thing. We'll talk to Feliciano about it. I don't think this is that big of a deal. Happens in practice. You know, emotions can run a little bit high, especially in hand-to-hand combat positions like O-line, D-line. But the reason why he's coming on the show is because he wants to fight you too, AJ.
I don't want to fight him. I want nothing to do with him. He is an absolute monster. But I think it's a good thing for the team that they got into a melee early on too. Like, hey, this will help their team gel together, I think.
And set a tone too, like, hey, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
We are gonna go.
Yeah.
Now, obviously it's never good. You're wasting energy on fighting. A lot of coaches go, oh, you're not tired, huh? Oh, you got all this extra energy, huh? Run it again. And everybody's just got done with a fight, so you see a lot of this from the big guys. The offensive linemen, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of like, what's the play? You know, there's a lot of the D linemen, they're down on a knee before the thing. Because fighting, as we have learned, takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And that's like the classic football coach response, like, oh, we got a lot of energy, huh? Oh, let's add 4 or 5 more periods. Let's go ahead and do it. You guys aren't tired now? We can run cardio at the end. Let's do that whole thing. But football practice scraps happen. And maybe not as much anymore, I'd assume, because the change in culture and stuff like that. But in a violent sport, there's a chance that there could be a misunderstanding between two people. And I've seen more than enough awesome fights in a practice field that, like, I wish I kind of seen this one. If he chased him down, by the way, that means everybody else had to chase too. So that's like a coming out of the bullpen, like a baseball type thing. And by the way, the defense has to sprint down there too to get on. I mean, that's the type of shit I would like to see. Like, how did they execute this? Like, who did the defense run through the offensive line to then fight back? Did they go around because it picked the other way? I don't know.
Whole field switch.
Hey,
Depends how far. Depends where they were. Like if the Bills were working on red zone, he had to take it 80 yards. Then that would be tough.
Well, that might be why Feliciano was so pissed. Like, okay, fucking
Mother.
all right. How about him running? He's gonna be dead tired for this interview.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be dead.
Or juiced up.
No. He's gonna be dead. I've never seen somebody get into a brawl at practice that isn't completely exhausted after practice. Just completely exhausted. Because, by the way, that defense that you just got in a fight with, if this is not the end of practice, they also, I mean, they're still a little,
They saw it.
you know, old habits die hard type. You know what I mean? Like, that is, I got into one.
Oh.
Literally just to get into it. Like, you know, it was the entire team was having one, and it was drifting towards where I was hanging out in between the fields. Helmet on.
Yep.
Flying. Like, just strictly for the entertainment value. One jumping in, push. I forgot who pushed me. They look, what the fuck? They went to somebody else, and I just walked out of it.
I would have blasted you, man. That would have been so fun to look for you. If I wasn't in the fight, I would just look for you and just pick you off.
Like, where's he at? Come on. I had my helmet on. I wouldn't have been worried about a damn thing. I was strapped up in there. Before we get to you fighting AJ Hawk, okay, which should happen at some point, Feliciano, why did you just fight a teammate? We just read, and I talked about on the show, I said, hey, this happens in practice. People get in fights. But I want to let you know, old Jay something, the guy that reported, he said, this is not normal. Feliciano just chased the guy down and gave him a punch in the mouth.
Whoa.
What the hell happened out there, Feliciano?
News travels fast.
Very fast, yeah. I mean, as it was happening, we found out,
Yeah. No, it was just competitive. Ran a screen. He picked it. I tried to chase him down. And then words exchanged. And then stupid stuff happen. But you know how it goes, competitive.
How has practice been? How are the guys? Josh Allen, obviously, first year to second year to third year. Now the expectations are what they are up in Buffalo. You guys have earned that type of thing. I like to hear that there's a little bit of a beef because that means probably, everybody's taking this serious. Everybody's bought in. How are OTAs going? How's the team feel?
Yeah, it's been good. There's a sense around here. I mean, windows close pretty quick. And we believe we have a good team, and we understand there's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and September. So, there's no time to mess around. We need to stay focused and get this right.
As far as that little altercation that happened in practice, I was mentioning to Pat earlier in the show. A lot of times, I think it's good. I think it's a good sign. You guys are competitive. You want to win. What was the aftermath like? I would imagine McDermott doesn't want to let any tension stick around. I'm sure you guys figured things out, or is the next practice going to be a bloodbath?
No, man, it wasn't this hasn't been my first stuff in practice. But I mean, everyone knows around there. I mean, we're trying to work, and there's no animosity between me and AJ. I mean, that crap's done right when we walked off the field. But I mean, iron sharpens iron, and trying to get him better. Man
sharpens man as well. How exhausted were you after the fight? That was my favorite part of watching these practice fights that happen. There's a big, oh, fuck you, no, fuck.
Worse.
Yeah,
you can never be in. There's no condition for it.
Was that the end of
You're
practice?
Dead.
Was that?
It's always the worst. Yeah, it's towards the end, so it's always the worst decision after because you're exhausted.
Do you guys go, because offensive line and defensive line, obviously, and things like that, I mean, even in OTAs, and this was the whole conversation around the boycotting of OTAs, because although you're in jerseys and you're not even in helmets or whatever, in the offensive line, defensive line, there's guys that are trying to earn jobs, and they can there's like a little bit of there's a chance that something could pop off at those OTAs at any time. You said this isn't your first fight. Are you the tone setter in there? Are you a guy who's like, all right, this has to happen, or is it just kind of spur of the moment?
As I'm getting older, I'm trying to be better and not always be too crazy. But yeah, I mean, those are my guys, and the offensive line is getting upset, and it's kind of my job to make sure everything's all right at the end of the day.
All right.